Happy New Day, everyone. Thank you for tuning in and watching. I am Asia. It has been now over 3 years since I first started YouTube. A lot of you all have been following me since the beginning and watching me go through many different stages and cycles in my life and have different experiences and stories to share. A lot of people have reached out to me and asked me questions and left comments and shared their stories and called me and talked to me, and it's been amazing looking back on everything up to this point. And I've done a lot of readings for a lot of people as well, many readings, a lot of Akashic record readings and now human design readings. A lot of people have gone through DNA activation, soul clearings, just it's amazing to look back at my timeline since I've been here on YouTube and just see how many people have been touched and affected by me just wanting to get on here and run my mouth about my personal journey. I have a lot of older videos on my channel that I only have them up for you guys, for you all to see, the growth that is taking place in my life. But because I see those old videos as old versions of me, it's kind of hard for me to look at them and listen to myself. It just kind of makes me cringe a little bit. But I know that even though I don't really remember majority of the things in my old videos, I know that there's still some type of valuable information in those videos that people can learn from. So I've chosen to leave them up for you guys. Some of you all know that I have been deep into human design since 2014, and I have been going through my deconditioning process. I've been going through tuning into my unique and individual frequency so that I can be more focused in my special lane and cultivate my energy correctly. I realize that everyone is an instrument, and a lot of people don't know how to play their instrument. And because a lot of us don't know how to play our instrument, we don't know our tones. We don't know how we operate as instruments. We end up in bands and orchestras that don't really sound good because the individuals that are making up these bands and orchestras don't know how to play their instruments. And I see a lot of issues in individuals because of the fact that they don't know how to tune into their frequency. I also look at each person as a radio station. Somebody may be 92.3, another person may be 107.5, another person may be 101.7, and it's like when you're turning a radio and you're trying to get to that station, that static that's in between, that's where a lot of people are in their lives. They're like in between their frequency and another person's frequency, and it's just like it's that static, so it's not clear. In tuning my instrument and understanding my station, it has helped me to further expand my consciousness and raise my vibration, which is something that I have always in all of my videos focused on. I've always focused on taking awareness to a higher level, a level to where you don't feel stuck and stagnant in your way of thinking and finding yourself going in circles. A lot of us are looking to be in harmony with ourselves and with other people, but we can't focus and we can't hear. And I've learned through understanding who I am as a unique individual, understanding what my formula is, I've learned that if a person doesn't know who they are, if they can't identify themselves as that instrument or know what their radio station is, then they can't focus. They can't hear properly. They can't see what they're supposed to see. So it's like when you go to the eye doctor and you gotta look into that thing where they switch the lenses on each eye to see what prescription you need. It's like a lot of people are seeing through these fuzzy lenses, and they're bumping into things over here, they're tripping over things over there because they can't see clearly, because their instrument is not tuned. Your instrument is your body. Your body is connected to the earth. The earth is connected to the solar system. The solar system is connected to the galaxy and so on and so forth. So our bodies change according to the earth cycles. The earth cycles change according to the solar system cycles and beyond. So as a body on a body, which is earth, which is within a whole nother set of bodies, which are the other planets, the moon and the sun and all of that. If you aren't tuned into yourself, then you can't be tuned in to what earth is doing. You can't be tuned in to the cycles that are taking place on the planet and beyond our planet. We know, everyone knows, whether you thought about this consciously or not, everyone knows that we are connected to the cycles of earth. We're connected to the cycles of the sun. We see and feel how our bodies change when a new season comes around. We're now entering fall. And the way that your body felt during the summer, it doesn't feel like that right now, because your body is changing according to the changes on earth and beyond. If you're not tuned in to your frequency, if your instrument is not tuned, then there's going to be too much noise for you to hear what you need to hear. There's going to be too much fuzziness for you to see what you need to see. And from there, you are going to experience psychological, physical, emotional, and spiritual damage from not being tuned into your frequency. And that's what many of us are going through right now, what we've been going through for many, many years. You being a unique instrument within this huge orchestra of human beings on earth, you have a very unique and special way of healing. If you can't hear, see, or feel, then you can't heal. Everybody that has ever connected to me has come to me because they want to be better versions of themselves. They want to feel better about themselves. They want to do better in life. And they don't know where to go. They don't know where to start. They don't know how to get into that groove of becoming a better version of themselves, because their whole lives they have been out of tune. Their instrument has not been tuned in to the frequency that is them. Everybody that is born has a fingerprint. No matter who you are, no matter your gender, your race, your culture, your religion, your sexual orientation, the one thing that we all have in common that no one can deny is that we all have a fingerprint. And that fingerprint is what identifies us as a unique individual on this planet. That fingerprint is our sacred geometry. That fingerprint is our barcode to show that we are different from everyone else on the planet. That fingerprint proves that we are an instrument that nobody else can play. Only we can play our instrument. But you have a world full of people that are out of tune and out of touch with themselves. So all you hear is static. All you hear is noise. All you see is chaos. Because nobody's in tune. And the few that are, they stand out. They have a certain energy and glow about them, because you can see that they move differently. They act differently. They radiate a different type of vibration. And there are people that see that and they say, that's what I want. I want to be in that vibration. I want to feel and operate the way that person is doing, but in my own right, in my own way. And then you have others that have been so out of tune that when they see someone who is in tune or is more in tune with themselves, they reject it because they're so used to noise. They're so used to chaos and confusion. When I got on YouTube, I knew that I could help people. I knew that I had something that could give somebody else some clarity on something that they have issues with in their life. And I knew that what I was learning behind closed doors by myself, I knew that I was of no use on this planet if I didn't somehow share it with someone. If I didn't somehow put it out there to at least just get it off my chest. Because we're not here to be alone. You can be a loner like how I am, but within my instrument, I know that I belong with the band. I know that I belong with an orchestra. And I know that I belong with people to where I can still play my instrument correctly. I don't belong in situations with other people to where I'm not able to play my instrument the way that it needs to be played. And that's what many people are looking for. Many people want to connect with other people. Many people want to be in relationships. Many people want to join groups and organizations and be a part of a community. But when it comes to all of those things, there's disharmony, there's noise, there's confusion, there's miscommunication. And it's because the individuals that are making up partnerships and groups and families and organizations and all of these different things that deal with two or more people, the instruments are not in tune. So when it comes to being in the right relationship with the right people, in the right groups with the right people, it starts with you. Because if you're not tuned, then you won't find the band or the orchestra that you belong to. If you're out of tune, you're going to end up in all types of situations with all types of people to where they're out of tune, and nobody is really interacting correctly. Nobody is really merging and being balanced with one another. And the thing is, our bodies are so amazing. They're so awesome that they tell us the truth all the time. They've been telling us the truth since day one. But when you're out of tune, you can't hear your body. You can't hear it when it's telling you, don't do that. Don't go that way. That's not good for you. Or when it's saying, yes, do that. Go for it. But you're so caught up in the noise that you don't go for it. Everything that we need to move correctly, to navigate properly within this matrix, within this illusion, within this reality, whatever you want to call it, everything that we need is right here in our instrument. It's right here in our bodies. And if you don't know your body, if you don't know yourself, if you don't know your blueprint, if you don't know your foundation, then you don't know what you're working with when it comes to establishing connections with other people. I had to learn the value of being selfish. Selfish has such a negative connotation in this world. But I had to be selfish because it's directly connected to being selfless. I can't be selfless if I'm not selfish, and vice versa. If I don't know how to isolate myself and detach in order to recuperate and to rejuvenate my instrument and my body, then I'm no good for anybody else. I can't do what I'm designed to do within the formula of another person. I understand that me as an individual, I am a formula. Every individual is a formula or an ingredient. If I take me as an ingredient, as a formula, and mix it with another person as an ingredient or as a formula, then we create something new. If I'm not tuned in to myself, to my frequency, if I'm not playing my instrument correctly, but I'm trying to come together with you and harmonize with you, and you're a completely different instrument, you're a completely different formula, and you don't know your formula, you don't know how to play your instrument, and then we're trying to come together to harmonize, it's going to be clashing, it's going to be noise, it's going to be everything that doesn't make us feel good on the inside. Because our bodies are saying, hey, this doesn't feel good. And when your body doesn't feel good, it naturally wants to do one thing, and that's detach. Everybody knows that. Whether you do it or not, that's a different thing. A lot of people don't know when to detach from energies and other instruments, other formulas, to get clear, to get clarity, and to get in line with themselves. And it's so important. It's so valuable. Because it's the only way that you can, in a healthy way, be in connection with others. You have to learn how to isolate yourself when your body is telling you, hey, I need space. I need to get away from these other energies because I can't think straight. I don't feel good. Many people know what it feels like when you can't hear yourself think. When you are witnessing yourself running around like crazy because you're being pulled in all of these different directions. Because you're wrapped up in chaos. You're wrapped up in noise. You got blurred vision. You can't see what you're supposed to see. You can't hear what you're supposed to hear. My particular vibration and frequency has attracted certain types of people into my life. It has attracted certain types of issues into my life. Many that are unresolved issues. I have paid attention to the types of people that connect with me and paid attention to this pattern of issues and patterns of problems and patterns of formulas of people that seem to continue to cycle in and out of my life. And that's not a good thing or a bad thing. It just kind of is. Me being a certain formula, I draw in certain types of people. And I've noticed that many different people from many different places on the world can contact me, and they'll all have similar problems. So I've recognized that there are certain things that I'm meant to see. There are certain things that I'm meant to hear about. Certain situations that I'm meant to experience based on my formula. And that also means that by me recognizing these things that I'm meant to have come into my life, I'm meant to learn about these things. I'm meant to understand these things and get to the root and the foundation of why these particular types of problems are presenting themselves into my reality. I love to research. I love to study. And now that I've been deep into human design for a few years now, I love to look into individuality. I love to see the uniqueness and understand how everyone is so different, but how we're all connected. Like the human race, the human species is one big DNA strand. Like all of us just play a certain part within one big DNA strand. And life evolution is just going. And we're just playing our part for the time being. Whether we live to be 50 years old or 100 years old. Like we're just really just passing through. And based on your awareness, you're going to be more impactful in some areas than others. But nothing is really good or bad or positive or negative. It just kind of is. Everything has its place. I realize that when it comes to my lane, my frequency, my instrument, what I'm supposed to be doing for myself and for others, it deals with helping people to also get tuned in. Helping people to bring clarity and understanding and resolution to the problems that they've been dealing with that have been keeping them from being able to hear, see, and feel so that they can heal. In the research and the studying that I've been doing for some time now, I have compiled a list of the different issues and topics that have come up from many different people and that have come up within my own personal life. In 2013, I started a support group, and it lasted for about 6-7 months. I see that as a trial run. That was a trial and error for me. I learned a lot of things of what to do and what not to do. And when I stopped doing the support group, I knew that eventually when it was time, I would start it back up, but from a new awareness, from a new cultivated version of myself. And because my journey will never be over, I will never be complete in my learning and in my researching, I realized that I'm at a place to where it's time for me to bring what I have gathered, bring the information that I have gathered to people in a new way. Give them something that they can actually work with on a regular basis, on a daily basis, a moment-to-moment basis, to start deconditioning and correcting and tuning into their frequency so that when it comes to anything dealing with relationships and groups, there's harmony and balance, and there's awareness and understanding of the needs of each individual. Every single person has specific needs. It's built into us genetically. We all have very specific needs, and majority of us have never known what our needs are. And that has been one of the biggest issues when it comes to relationships. That being my first topic. I've never had so much clarity about relationships and their problems in my life until now. And it's the same situations over and over and over again. And it always boils down to the fact that needs are not being met. You get two people who are out of tune instruments that come together and they create noise. They create static. They create conflict and friction. Nobody can hear the other. No one can see the other. So no one knows the specific needs of the other, because they don't know the specific needs of themselves. And then that leads into abuse, whether it be verbal, psychological, physical. It leads into abuse. And it leads into a pattern of continuous, bad, terrible relationships. Topic number 2. The hatred between parents and children. Yes, hatred. It's amazing how many parents hate their children and how many children hate their parents. The level of resentment within parent-children relationships is astonishing. And what I found is that it boils down to, you have a mother and father who have a brand new baby. Majority of the time, the mother and father are out of tune instruments who have come together and created noise. But of course, every human body has a genetic responsibility to reproduce. So even though they can't see each other and they can't hear each other, hey, we got a responsibility to make more, create offspring, mate. So a new baby comes into the world, into a world full of noise, to parents who are noisy and out of tune. And The foundation that's laid for the child has nothing to do with their blueprint. The child is taught and raised to do things, to think things, to believe in things that have absolutely nothing to do with who they are as an individual. But of course, the parents don't know that. So the child grows up, becomes rebellious, turns into all of the many different things that we see in the world with out of control adults. And then the cycle continues. Topic number 3. Sexual abuse, rape, incest, pedophilia. (2016) has been the year to where it has blown my head off my shoulders when it comes to realizing how big of an issue sexual abuse is. On top of that, I have learned so much about incest, and it is so interesting to me that as big of an issue as it is, it's something that's like a forbidden topic. I have discovered in human design charts, I have discovered in people's blueprints, promiscuity, people who were more than likely victims of sexual abuse and rape and incest. And there have been many people who I have actually brought these topics to without knowing anything about them, just looking at a human design chart. And next thing I know, I'm being told all types of stories about the truth behind their experiences with those topics. To see so many people, so many adults who have experienced incest, who have experienced sexual abuse and rape, and to see how much is not being dealt with, whatever we see as a trending topic, whatever we see as anything that is on the news with adults and them going crazy or killing another adult, or, you know, all of these horrendous stories that we get distracted by and put our focus and attention on. We're not acknowledging what took place in the foundational stages of these adults who have grown up to be menaces to society, or grown up to be the racist police officers, or the racist black people, or the people that shoot up schools, or the person that turns out to be a serial killer or a serial rapist, or the pedophile. All of those titles, all of those situations They're results. They're results of something that took place in the foundational stages of childhood for those adults. But if all we see is how terrible this adult is that did all of these things, and we're too ashamed or we're too scared to speak on the issues that are plaguing so many homes, so many families, so many children, then we're going to continue to raise our children to be these adults that turn out to be the bad people in the world. We're just going to continue the cycles. Topic number 4. Children being overly sexual and promiscuous. It ties into the previous topic, but how many people understand their sexual bonding strategy? A lot of people haven't even heard that terminology. Every single human being has a sexual bonding strategy. There are 2 aspects to every human that cause them to recognize the correct genetic material for mating and to connect with that genetic material for purposes of reproduction. We can see that that's working. We can see that the sexual bonding strategies of human beings around the world is working. But we're still in a world full of noise and chaos and confusion and miscommunication and unawareness. So, once again, you have parents that bring children into the world, don't know the blueprint of their child, don't know how their child is designed to operate, don't know the needs of their child. So, of course, they're not going to know the sexual bonding strategies of their child. And they didn't know the sexual bonding strategies of themselves. The number one thing that the body knows when it comes into the world is that it has to make more. The body isn't thinking about a job or going to school or being in a relationship. The body doesn't think about those things. The body just knows, hey, I am a species. I am a part of a species. And it is my genetic duty and responsibility to reproduce and make more. Now we know that puberty, kind of starts at a certain age, but that has nothing to do with the sexual bonding strategy of a human body that comes into the world. As soon as a baby is born, the sexual bonding strategy is active. And we wonder why there are pedophiles in the world. We wonder how someone who's an adult can be sexually aroused by a baby. It's because of the sexual bonding strategy that's built into our instruments, into our vehicles. But no one talks about that because a lot of people don't know. I have looked at children's charts. Parents have come to me. I've looked at their children's charts. And I've seen red flags. I've seen alerts. My body has told me you need to tell this parent right now what they're dealing with their child. And I've had to tell parents, you have a child that's going to be a hot one. You have a child that has a design that is going to naturally make them very sexual. I'm just looking at the blueprint. And what I get in return are stories upon stories upon stories of things that have already happened behind closed doors with those children. So all I did was confirm something that was already taking place. And I've never seen anybody, never seen a child, never seen the parents, just looking at the blueprint. But your child has already started displaying these things. So certain things within the foundation of the child are already being laid and imprinted in the way that they're going to act and behave sexually as they get older. But just think, if you knew what you were dealing with when you had your child in the very beginning. I've had a few parents come to me when they just had babies, and I was able to tell them, okay, look out for these things. And within 6 months, from the child being born, the things that I saw already started playing out. So the children are playing out their designs, but their designs are mixing in with noise, mixing in with confusion and chaos. And let's not mention the programming coming from the televisions, coming from the music, coming from the advertisements, coming from the junk food that's being given to children. All of these different things are not allowing the child to grow within their own frequency and tune their instrument early, so that when they become teenagers and adults, they're not all over the place and being rebellious and being out of control and being misfits. Topic number 5. Physically and energetically abusive jobs and people lacking money. There are so many people who are in jobs that literally are physically and energetically abusive. Jobs that are making their instruments, making their bodies deteriorate. And most of the people within these jobs that are physically and energetically abusive are in relationships that are physically and energetically abusive and have children that are out of control. You see? You see how it's all connected? And then the money is not enough. They're taking all of this physical and energetic abuse from all of the different areas within their lives. And then the money isn't even enough. Topic number 6. Addictions, drugs, and alcohol. Why do people get addicted to things? Why do people end up on drugs? Why do people run to alcohol? Because they're in a job that's energetically and physically abusive. They're in relationships that are energetically and physically abusive. They have children that get on their nerves. They're holding on to trauma and situations from their childhood because they were raped, sexually abused, feel shameful of having sexual interactions with their family members. I mean, the list goes on. So yeah, some alcohol, some drugs, or some other addictions, whether it be food addictions or whatever. You know, life is just so much. You know, like life is filled with chaos. I can't hear anything. I can't hear myself think. I can't see straight. You know, everyone's crazy. Hey, might as well drink it away. Might as well smoke it away. Might as well eat it away. Topic number 7. Narcissism, sociopaths, psychopaths, and all of the other personality disorders out there. Now, why do we end up with narcissism? Why do we end up with psychopaths and sociopaths? Are you all understanding what is going on here? You all see it? You see the connection? I don't think any baby is just born a narcissist or a psychopath or a sociopath. No baby is born addicted to drugs or alcohol unless they, of course, had a parent that was on that. But for the most part, all of these issues start from what? From the foundation. From the lack of awareness about who you are. From the lack of awareness about what type of instrument you are. From the lack of awareness about what your individual needs are. So you get raised by parents that you hate, and your parents may be narcissists or psychopaths or sociopaths. So they resent you, they don't like you, they're giving you all of that narcissistic programming. The next thing you know, you're terrorizing people, your own children, because now you're the narcissistic parent. You're psychologically disabling people in relationships because you're looking for your narcissistic supply. You're putting on different masks, and you have hypnotized yourself out of life because life is just so crazy. You can't hear yourself think. You can't see straight. So you know what? I might as well just be anything that it takes to get me a source of energy, to get me a narcissistic supply. So I got to be a liar. I got to be a manipulator. I got to use all of these tactics because I can't feel myself. I'm not tuned to my frequency, so I can't feel myself. I can't feel love. I can't feel that. I'm not even close to being able to even understand what healing is. But I got to survive. I know that I got to get this money. I know that I can't be by myself. Something in me knows that much. I can't be by myself. But because I wasn't raised properly, I don't know who I am. I'm not in tune. I'll just study the people on the television. I'll just watch what's around me and tune into people and see where their weaknesses are, to see where they're vulnerable at. And I'll target those aspects and just play on those and use them for what I can get and then discard them when I'm done and go on to the next. I found out my dad was a narcissist. Human design. Get on that later. Topic number 8. Family secrets, unresolved issues, and lack of closure. This summer for me has been so eye-opening. I've learned so much about the history of my family. I've learned so much about family secrets. I've learned so much about the incest going on in my own family, the sexual abuse going on within my family, the narcissism going on within my family, the secret lives going on within my family. It never ends. And I know I'm not the only one. There are people that are determined to take family secrets to the grave because it's so the reality of what has taken place behind closed doors within families is shattering. It's shattering to the psyche. It's shattering to the system. It's shattering to your vehicle. So there's a lack of closure for a lot of people out here. A lot of people have passed away with information that is still haunting a lot of people that are still alive. Everything from abuse to abandonment to, it's deep. It's really deep. A lot of us are sick. We are sick and we need healing. Because if we don't start at the root of this stuff, we're just going to keep creating all of these problems. We're going to keep having these situations that clog up the flow and the balance within our family. Which means that we can't really have family values. We really can't instill morals correctly. We can't raise the children correctly to be better than us and be better than the past generations. Topic number 9. Health problems and disease. What do you expect? My dad, former narcissist, former abuser, former child of an alcoholic mother, former felon, former a lot of things that we call bad, negative, terrible, whatever. And I can't even blame him. Because I know how he started. I know his foundation. I know what he dealt with as a child. With his mother. Not getting the love as an innocent child before he turned into a convict and a man who terrorized and abused women. And now he's dead from cancer. How many people do we know that have lived their lives in these patterns based on the different topics that I've talked about? So many people. I mean, it's never ending. It's never ending. So yeah, health problems and disease. Hey, we know that's an issue. We know that those are big issues. Everywhere you go, you can find a 24-hour pharmacy right across the street from a 24-hour McDonald's. Interesting. Topic number 10, life purpose. Soulmates. Personal values. spiritual gifts. Every human design that I've looked at, I have been able to see the mechanics that lay out the life purpose of that particular individual. I have been able to literally find and see the spiritual gifts that a person has. I've been able to see what their values are mechanically, what they are designed to focus on and see as important in their lives. And of course, when it comes to soulmates, it's plenty out there for all of us. It's just going to be hard to really connect to those soulmates if what? If you're not a tuned instrument. You can't make music with another person. Every single person on this planet has a purpose. Whether you're consciously aware of it or not, everyone has a purpose here. Everyone has spiritual gifts. When you look at a piano, or you look at a violin or a set of drums, it's amazing what can come out of that piano or that violin or that set of drums. When you know the instrument, you can make a room full of hundreds of thousands of people cry. You can tell a story through playing that piano or that violin. You can change the heartbeat of people through playing the drums. You can change the pulse of every instrument when you're tuned to your own and you're playing your instrument correctly. If we're all an instrument, then we're all gifted and we all have a purpose. For those who gain clarity from the things that I've just shared and the topics that are big in my life and the lives of others who have connected with me over time, there is a place. There is opportunity. There are tools for you to gain the awareness that you need about yourself. There are answers so that you can get past the traumatic situations that are keeping you from moving forward in your life. I'm still on my journey. I still have a lot of work to do. But a lot of people are in need. A lot of people need support. A lot of people need help. I will be hosting a live stream and a teleconference for those who can't get on the live stream for my new group called Integrated Individuals in Integrity. There's one rule to be a part of this group. Operate according to your law. There is no leader. You are the leader of your own individual lane, your own category, your own genre. You have to be selfish. You have to be an individual in integrity. For those that are interested in being a part of this, you must send me your date of birth, time of birth, and location of birth so that I can generate your human design chart, because that is the foundation. In order for me to connect with you correctly, I must know who you are. I need to see your genetic formula to know what your needs are. If I don't know your needs, then I can't help you. I can't be of any assistance or service to you. So anyone who is wanting to be a part of integrated individuals in integrity, it's all about your design. Nobody can live your life for you. Nobody can operate your body for you. There are very unique and specific things that you are designed to see and hear and experience within your lifetime. And there's no one that can do that for you. However, there are many people who individually want that. So, integrated individuals in integrity is the orchestra. It is the band. And when you tune to your frequency, when you tune your instrument, then all of the people that are in your orchestra and in your band will be in harmony as well. And that's what this is about. It's time for us to let go of all of these things from our past that are holding us down. I had a vision of what I see in relationships and in groups. Each individual has a huge backpack on, and that backpack is filled with bricks, and each brick has a psychological issue, an emotional issue, a physical issue, all types of issues that each individual has collected throughout their lives. And it's a brick. Each thing is a brick, and it's in the backpack, and people in relationships always have these backpacks on. And what happens is they take on the bricks of the other and add on. So the backpacks turn into suitcases. It turns into luggage. And that's what we see. And it's time for us to empty out our backpacks and our luggage. It's time for us to be free of those things, because all of it has a root. All of it has a foundation. And when you understand the root of the problems that you've been carrying for your whole life, then you can be free. And you can hear. And you can see. And you can feel. So you can heal. That's what this is about. And you don't have to do it alone. I spent a lot of time by myself, a lot of time isolated and detached from many people. But I had to do that to get to this level of clarity that I'm at right now. And to really look at what the world is dealing with. Look at what's really going on behind closed doors. I think about all of the children that are going to school with their backpacks, and they already got bricks in them. They already got situations, heavy situations, that they're taking with them to school. Kindergarten, first grade. we don't have to continue these cycles. We have major tools now, major tools, to where literally the next baby's born could be free of all of that stuff from the past. It's possible. So, if you're someone who resonates with my message and understands what I'm saying and really feels me, hears me from inside, and this is something that you want, it's available. And it's time. It's been time. But of course, everyone is on their own cycle. Every one of you all have your own cycle. And this will just help you be more in tune with your cycles, so you can know when to move, when not to move, how to navigate. And it's nothing better than knowing that you're supported by other people who understand you, other people who are on the same path and the same journey in their own unique way. So I have ran my mouth for enough time now. Thank you all for tuning in and watching. If you are interested in being a part of the Integrated Individuals in Integrity, I will leave the information down below and you can contact me and we will be moving forward for your mind to shine. Until next time.